Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. And, or, should I say, hola, mi amigos. Soy Thingamajig. Buenos dias. Mucho gusto. Yes, for round 8, we are in España. Round 8 of the VRC GT4 Championship. We are in Catalonia, and it's your home, apparently. So what is the VRC GT4 Championship? Well, it's the ultimate GT4 Championship. Drivers will race their pedigree sports cars at 10 different locations around the world. Each venue will host a variety of races ranging from a series of breakneck sprints to strategy testing endurance races. Now we are lining up 2 feature races this evening, 2 30-minute races to be held here at Catalonia, and I'm excited to know if they've left the chicane in or not, because I wouldn't. So that'll be interesting. And with the feature races, they have to use a mandatory tyre unless there is rain, but I think the rain in Spain mainly falls on the plain, so we won't see it at Catalonia. That's everything. Let's see what Ferrari's on the pole position this week. It's not fair. It's not fair to joke. It's not their fault. They picked a car. It just happened to be the best car. But shall we see? Dun, 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 dun. We have Homesick Alien this week on pole in the Ferrari John Player Special, car 77. And in his hands, that Ferrari is formidable. In second spot, we have Matt Psycho in the McLaren, always on the scene. And I think he picked up a win or 2 along the way this season. But up against it with the might of those Ferraris. In third place, we only have the pocket rocket of Schren in the Porsche. My word, we know that is a fast starting car, and from third I expect that to be into the first corner, first place come race start. In fourth place we have the Honda of Skyjacker, and he looks remarkable in those beautiful monster colours. Was that fifth for another Ferrari, Talleyrand? He must have been taking it easy in qualifying. No, I'm joking. So, fifth place for the Ferrari. A lot of work there ahead of Talleyrand. Sixth spot is Jim 66. I love it. 66.6. And he is piloting the Aston Martin. He's found it a very fast car. Slow off the line, though. Slow off the line. Then we've got Big Dan in the Dodge Viper, Ensign Hewitt. He goes by many names, Drifting Dan, Big Dan, Ensign Hewitt, my big cuddly bear. But he's a man to watch out for in the race if he doesn't rip his tyres apart. Then after him, we have the delectable Mrs. Guesty in the Porsche. And she's found a time quicker than the Baz, who's in the Nissan, car 74, looking to gain some positions in today's race here at Catalonia. So, without further delay, I fogged over the table quite easily. I missed it again, okay? I was ill. I've been ill. This stream might be a bit rough. It might be a bit nasally and a bit sort of choky and coffee. Coffee? I've got coffee. Hang on, let me have a sip. That'll make me cough, won't it? That was a loud sip just for you guys. That was for you, especially. Right then, let's get this race started. No delays. And on front row, Homesick Alien, Matt Psycho. And don't forget that pocket rocket of the Porsche just behind them. It's go, go, go here for race 1 at Catalunya, and the Ferrari and the McLaren seem to be holding ground against the Porsche. No, Chiren's made his way up to 2. They've both pulled over to the inside, McLaren and Homesick Alien, to protect, but now they've got their legs running, and I think Chiren doesn't have the oomph to catch the Ferrari. Look at the other Ferrari up there in 4th place now, right in the centre of that action. Amazing stuff. Skyjacker missing out on a spot to Talleyrand, but he's going to try and gain it back. Under braking inside. 2 cars so far. Can he make it more? Skyjacker then only up to 3rd. He gains 2, but there's, it's a squeeze there for Chiren and Matt Psycho, and Matt Psycho was in the middle of a Porsche and Honda sandwich there. Where has he gained to? Where has he gone? He's down in 8th. Oh, there's more spinning, Jimbo. He likes to make it difficult for himself. He's right at the back now, with Homesick Alien leading from Skyjacker up into 2nd, Talleyrand in 3rd, Bazza in 4th, Guesty is 5th, Chiren's dropped down into 6th place after the Matt Psycho moment. Matt Psycho is recovered into 7th, with Big Dan in 8th, and Jim a little far off there. That is a big job, but we've got 30 minutes. And they've got to use the hard tyre at some point. Now, Homesick started on the hard with Skyjacker on the soft, and now he's looking mighty spritey up the backside of the Ferrari. And Skyjacker looking racy on those soft tyres early doors in this race. What is the strategy going to be? He's going to have to use the hards at some point. I don't know what the fuel will be like. Oh, again, looking up the inside of the Alien. Oh, look at that, no chicane. How delicious is that? That is how it was meant to be, people. That's how you're meant to go through the final corners at Spain, with great dignity and speed, not slowing down like a jackass for some chicane, because motorbikes can't go round the corner that fast, so we'll ruin it for drivers. I hate MotoGP so much. It's ruined so many good tracks. So Talleyrand then, he's going for the lead. He's got the lead. Homesick Alien and Talleyrand's also on those soft tyres. So we see some racing going on there, with Homesick Alien down into 2nd, Skyjacker in 3rd, and Bazza. Where the blooming hell did he come from? Let me correct me if I was wrong. Was he not on the back row? And now look at him in 4th, fighting with the top 3. Then we've got Matt Psycho. He started on the hard tyres, and he's already up into 5th place through the dilemmas that he had in that sandwich of Chiren and Skyjacker. He has done well. Big Dan in 6th, coming through, sir. He's on the soft tyres also. Mrs. Guesty up into 7th, also on the soft tyres. Jimbo, he's made his way up. Chiren's had a big off. Chiren is either pitted or he's had a humongous off. I can't tell which. I doubt he's pitted, so he's had trouble in the Porsche. Talleyrand leads, with Skyjacker in the chat saying, good morning, sir. Good morning. Well, morning, good afternoon. Oh, no, he said good afternoon, sir. Sorry. I don't know why. Yes, we just saw your epic overtake, 2 cars. Very good. So Talleyrand leads from Skyjacker in the Honda, the 2 soft tyre cars off into the distance. Bazza's now up to 3rd. Homesick Alien the tyres obviously will be making a huge difference in speed, but I imagine Homesick as well, maybe trying to get that fuel tank to last the whole race. The whole 30 minutes of this race, maybe possibly. Matt Psycho on the hard tyres. Yeah, they've all used similar fuel at the moment. Doesn't seem to be saving any more than the guys in front. Matt Psycho, the legend that is, Psycho, is in the chat. He says afternoon, and Skyjacker said, I made an epic overtake, question mark. Couldn't be me, surely. No, I'm sure it was. You also squashed Matt Psycho between Chiren. I don't think you had anything to do with it. I just think there was 3 cars trying to go into a corner, and the middle one just didn't fit. So Talleyrand leads, and leads quite healthily at the moment against Skyjacker. Then the Baz in the Nissan from the back row. Wow, what a specialist. Is there in 3rd place. Homesick Alien, pole sitter, probably championship leader, is there in 4th. Matt Psycho's under pressure from the Dodge. The Dodge has pulled the trigger. Bang! It missed. So Big Dan then sitting on the rear bumper of Matt Psycho, and Matt Psycho's on those hard tyres. So Big Dan has an advantage in the corners, or should have. Skyjacker in the chat saying Baz is a new man with his new wheel. Oh yeah, he's got new apparatus, hasn't he? New hardware. He's gone all flash with a wheel. It's a fancy wheel, I mean. And look at Big Dan, he doesn't need a wheel. That's a controller against a Fanatec Super DD hard-on edition, and Big Dan with a what, 60 quid controller? I don't know if it's a PS4, it's probably a 50 quid controller. 60 quid, they break so easily. I've never known. I'm on to my third bloody controller, and I don't rage my controllers. It's the joysticks. They're made like pathetic tissue paper. Matt Psycho says pick a side, any side. Well, you had Shiren one side and Skyjacker the other. It looked a little tight in there. I'm surprised your McLaren isn't a little skinnier than it started. Big Dan still putting on the pressure there. Mrs. Guesty, 7th place. Nothing can touch her now. Look at her fly. Big Jim. I can't see him. Come on, cameraman, you asleep? He's having a doobie. Come on, wake up, man. So, Jesus, what was the cameraman up to? He said, yeah, it's all right. He'll be along in a minute. Jesus. So, Jim in the wars. Still some distance off of Mrs. Guesty. Shiren as well. Not having a great time in Spain. Talleyrand is, though. He's leading, but he's got to make a pit stop. Skyjacker, he's in second. He's got to make a pit stop. Bazza also has to make a pit stop for hard tyres. At the very minimum. We don't know what's going on with the fuel yet. Then Homesick Alien, he's on the hard tyres. Fuel isn't saving as much as the guys ahead, so let's have a look. We're about 7 minutes into the race. They've not quite used a quarter of a tank. 7:14. Yeah, you know what? I reckon they could squeeze these tanks out without a fuel stop. So Homesick Alien, at the moment, it's not too bad for him. It depends on what a pit stop is going to cost these three young guns in the front. Matt Psycho also playing the waiting game, although he is using his fuel a little more than the guys around him. Big Dan cares not about fuel. He's revving the ass out of that car. He loves it. It only works when it's purple. When that bar is purple, it's the only time the Dodge Viper is alive. Look at it, screams it out. No fuel conservation going on in the Dodge whatsoever as he tries to open her up, but it's just, is it under braking into the first corner, and it's the Dodge strikes back, and Matt Psycho sits and breathes the fumes of the Viper. Oh, Matt's got a squirrel on in the middle there. He must have been the bad air, that nasty Viper fumes, giving Matt Psycho some aero problems. There is the delectable Mrs. Guesty, not far away from that action, and doing very competitive time. She was faster than Matt Psycho last time around. Come on, Mrs. Guesty, give it some welly. Jimbo, he's chasing her down. He's about a second faster than her at the moment, but he's got some distance between himself and, although she is starting to look in the screen. So Jim's still in the action there, isn't he? We've still got a long way to go in this race. Shiren, he's probably out of it now. He's just doing a bit of testing in the Porsche Cayman. And Matt Psycho in the chat saying McLaren has a curb phobia. Doesn't like curbs. So Talleyrand then just takes fastest lap of the race. But we know he has to pit. Skyjacker also. Steady second spot for him. He's not on the pace. He's not in the 47s like our Talleyrand is, but still good speed in the Honda NSX. Bazza in the Nissan as well, maintaining the same speed as Skyjacker, and Bazza looking like he's shining up room on his trophy table for another podium. But Homesick Alien will have a lot to say about this, I'm sure. When the pit stops happen, Matt Psycho's already gone in. He's pulled the trigger. He's pulled the trigger. What? He's changing tactics here, I believe. Because I think fuel they could easily get. I'm pretty sure fuel is not going to be an issue for these. Matt Psycho does not like the hard tyre. Did not enjoy getting overtaken by Big Dan. And has come in. He's doing a Ferrari. He's changing. He's gone to plan B. In America, that means something totally different. I found out, plan B. probably best not use it too much, as we are an international broadcaster. Talleyrand leads the way from Skyjacker. How many of you are Googling Plan B USA? Skyjacker. He's in second with the Baz in third. Homesick Alien, fourth. Big Dan is catching Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, he's going to have to just, Mrs. Guesty is ahead and see, oh, that's really hurt Matt Psycho. He's got to do some absolutely blistering times for the next 20 minutes. He's got to have a 20-minute qualifying session. Oof, that's a big job for the McLaren. He should have stood fast, I think. Stuck with those hard tyres all the way till the end, like we're going to see Homesick Alien do. Big Dan closing in. This will be the test for the Alien, if he's going to stay out there, or if like Matt Psycho, he'll think, nope, too slow coming in. Because he's done a 1:57. Big Dan smashes a 51.9, so not great for Big Dan, that one. Talleyrand, he's dropped into the 48s now. His tyres are started. See, now, this is the thing. Look, Matt Psycho's gone in and put a set of softs on. He's still got 18 and a half minutes to go of this race. Talleyrand's done 11 and a half, and his front left tyre is starting to look pretty bedded in, I would say. Bedded in, we'll call that. It's not going to see 20 minutes, that tyre, is what I'm saying. That tyre's probably not going to see more than 15 minutes. So, Matty Psycho, who is very delicate to his tyres, got a lovely soft touch to him, gives a great massage, but he's, he may have made a boo-boo. I don't think those tyres possibly will last, and I think he's going to struggle to see another car. He's obviously going to see another car. He's going to get positions. It's Matt Psycho, for heaven's sakes. The man doesn't enter a race without getting a position. But it's going to be tough. Going to be tough from down there. We'll see.
Not sure about that.
Not sure about that. Oh, what? Always getting positions in races. Talleyrand, he is absolutely peacocking it at the moment, showing off that lovely livery, unscathed, unscratched, untouched, not even dirty, unraced, barely. Look at him. What a delicious, delicious human being as he... Tyre management, Matt. Yeah, well, how can you go fast and do tyre management? Well, yeah, what, for Talleyrand, he's not tyre managing. Skyjacker also, look, it's 13 minutes, Mr. Psycho, and they're ripping their softs apart. I don't see... Ooh, Baz's tyre really made me hurt. That's painful. Homesick Alien, it's okay in the hood for Homesick, barely any tyre wear. He's maintained a beautiful lap time. But has he lost a pit stop to Talleyrand? I reckon he's all right with Skyjacker and Baz. I've tried so hard because he's got a nickname as Spinjacker just to stay as Skyjacker. And just now and again, it catches me out. So Skyjacker and Bazza, I think Homesick's got them in his back pocket. All right, Sam. But Talleyrand might be a bit of a battle for him. And don't forget, when they come out of the pits, if they're close by Homesick's hard tyres are going to be rubbery. They're going to be worn in. They're not going to be as grippy. I mean, hard tyres aren't that grippy anyway, so think of hard tyres that aren't that grippy. Then they're going to be like sports tyres, sports softs. So, yeah, Homesick Alien, he's got a fight on his hands. So look at that, he's got Skyjacker and Bazza still inside. Bazza's gone, his tyre's shot, he's going to have to pit. Talleyrand, they're not far away. Big Dan shot his tyres as well. He's going to have to go in. He might try and drive on that, but he'd be foolish too. He's already losing a second a lap. Who's there behind him? Mrs. Guesty. Catching. And Mr. Guesty, he must get the best foot massages, because look at how Mrs. Guesty has looked after those tyres. Then the Baz has come in. Jimbo up to 7th. He's liking that. A race that it looked hopeless on lap 1 for him. And he's looked after those tyres pretty well as well. Sharon is motion detected at the front door. Sharon be a fox. Or my dad. Sharon in 8th place, and Matt Psycho with a huge job of tyre management, but he does get a 48.4 that last time around. Talleyrand leads from Skyjacker, and then Homesick Alien is in 3rd place with the Baz going into the pits. Back out on hard tyres, a little splash of fuel I think just to help him along, and Matt Psycho's behind the Baz. That is grave news for the Sykes, but Bazza, he's on the hard tyres, so Matt Psycho, even though he's got to do some major tyre management right now, he's gonna be doing good jobs catching up with the Baz. Big Dan also back to the pack, and back to the back of the pack. He wasn't ever at the back, so it's not back to the back. He's gone to the back of the pack. Let's see how these pit stops do what like they deal out. So Talleyrand leads with Skyjacker in 2nd. No one's taking a pit stop just yet. Well, Talleyrand doesn't. He's gone down the start straight. Homesick Alien, he'll be getting a little impatience in there. He'll be thinking, come on guys, get in the pits, it's uncomfortable. Mrs. Guesty up and into 4th place, and it's looking like she can take those tyres a little later into this race. Jim's already up into 5th, he can take the tyres later. Skyjacker making a pit stop, and stop everything, because just wait, Mrs. Guesty is in a podium position right now. This is epic and a great moment. So Mrs. Guesty is sitting in 3rd spot, and that is down to driving. There's no flukes, there's no mishaps, there's no, oh, it shouldn't have happened. It's a pure and simple strategy and driving great lap times and looking after tyres has put Mrs. Guesty up and into 3rd. Jimbo is in 4th. Skyjacker comes back out of the pits 4th, and Sharon could be going to the end. Maybe he did go in and put hard tyres on. I didn't see what tyres he started on, but he was right at the back. But he's persevered, and he's in 6th at the moment. The Baz on hards in 8th. Matt Psycho in 9th. Big Dan in 10th. And I don't think the strategy is working out for some of these guys out here. Obviously, Mrs. Guesty does have to put some hard tyres on. And man alive, do you think she might be thinking, sugar, I wish I started on the hards, because if you didn't have to pit, I don't think there's anyone could get at you. Oof. So Homesick Alien climbs up into 2nd with his no-stop strategy so far. Talleyrand has come in, but I think he knocked the wall on the way in. Shall we watch that? It's not nice to mock, but it's not often we see the boss drop the ball. And here he comes, he's swinging around, he knows it's got to be perfect, it's got to be, what was it, a last minute? No, oh, just a little understeer coming in there. Oh, and he's had to reverse it up, bad, oof. Gee, might have been worth just cracking on. But he's got it into the pits. Homesick Alien, that's going to help a lot. And is that battle with Skyjacker and the Baz that now has got like 2 people in between. The Baz is catching Matt Psycho, and that's hard to believe, whereas Matt Psycho just got past Baz. I'm more inclined to believe that Matt Psycho has, he was behind the Baz. So Matt Psycho gains a position there. Mrs. Guesty still not pitting, and now she climbs up and into 2nd spot, I kid you not. Now Skyjacker's looking for that Talleyrand, and with Talleyrand making that huge mistake going into the pits, it's just a tyre stop, remember, and Talleyrand is on his way out, and Jim's there in 4th. No, it's Talleyrand that maintains 3rd spot just behind Homesick Alien after Mrs. Guesty makes a pit stop. And that is not too bad. That's not too bad at all. And Skyjacker really has lost a lot of ground on those hard tyres, with Talleyrand staying out on the soft tyres, maintaining a better pace. Jimbo in 4th, but he's going to have to make a pit stop any time soon. Skyjacker will be promoted back up into 4th, I guess. Shiren's being overtaken now. Look at Matt Psycho pulling the moves like Jagger. He got the moves like Jagger. He's not got the moves yet, though. Shiren, though, is there, but Matt Psycho's on the soft tyres around the outside, and it's McLaren up and into 6th. He thinks he's Lando Norris. And Skyjacker in 5th. Has to be nervous. Must have seen on the timesheets that Matt Psycho has just popped up behind him. And I'm sure he's aware Matt Psycho has pitted for soft tyres, so... But the question is, will those tyres last? Shiren then has slipped down the order a little bit so far. Baza in 8th, and Big Dan cannot make an impression on those racing hard tyres. And Matt Psycho says, nah, I'm funnier and better looking than Lando Norris. You are. That's a fair assessment. You're outshunned by your son, though, man. I must say. The day we met, yeah, you know, barely noticed you because your son and his behaviour and what credit he is to you and your wife is outshone. I could not believe it. He was amazing. He really was. So Homesick Alien is leading from Mrs. Guesty with Talleyrand in 3rd spot, Skyjacker in 4th, Matt Psycho 5th place with Baza in 6th, 7th for Shiren, 8th for Big Dan. And Homesick has got it, and it's in the bag. He zipped it up, he's put the padlock on, he's slung it over his shoulder, he's halfway down the road. Says, see you later, guys. Strategy 0 stop is the was key today, I think. We'll see if these hard runners can catch up back with the Alien, but oof, we got 8 minutes. Anything can do. But at the moment, the pole sitter of Homesick Alien kept his patience and has held ground whilst all those around him have lost their heads, and he's prevailed at the moment. Mrs. Guesty, now 51s against Talleyrand, hasn't really been putting them in yet. Skyjack has done a 2 minute and a 150. There's only one laptop to go. Matt Psycho's on a tear, obviously. He's on the soft tyres. Baza, he's doing 51s, 52s, so Mrs. Guesty may get a jump on 1 or 2 people here. Mrs. Guesty might get a jump after the pit stop. We will have to keep our eyes open. And Matt Psycho's sending me love. Oh, bless you, man. It's true. I thought he was amazing. Homesick Alien then leads the race. And Talleyrand in 3rd. Talleyrand should go back up to 2nd. Skyjack possibly could get 3rd, but I'm really not sure. I mean, yeah, the pit stops, they've not been that helpful to guys, have they? Talleyrand managed to get back out into 3rd. Yeah. Come on, Mrs. Guesty. Get your welly on. Tough lap for the last lap, though, Mrs. Guesty. The tyres starting to go 54.3, and that's lost a bit of time to her competitors behind at a time when the lap times have to be bob on. She's racing people elsewhere on the track. Bazza's not having a great time on hard tyres, 52s, Shiren's 53s, whilst Mrs. Guesty's on the soft tyre. She really wanted to maintain, but she kept those 51s going well. And your foot's tapping for her. I'm so hoping she's going to get out of the pits in a very reasonable position. She stayed on the softs the longest of everyone, and has done a blinding job there. She's let Talleyrand go. That's not her fight. No, she's gone into the pits. Oof. So Skyjacker under threat with Matt Psycho. These two are there at the final corner, so they're definitely going to gain those positions. It's the Baz who's making a mess of it, but he's just entering into the final corner. How quickly can the Porsche team turn this one around? Sharon as well is on the tail of Baz, and I don't think it's going to work out well for Mrs. Guesty. She's not even out the box yet. Big Dan under threat from Jim, who's had to make that pit stop finally. And Jim's gone to medium tyres. Did he start on hards? I thought he was on softs. Oh, I think he's realised he's come in to put some hards on, possibly. And Mrs. Guesty's out ahead of Big Dan, but it's going to be close. Big Dan's tearing down the straight. Mrs. Guesty's out onto the road. Ahead. Oh, Big Dan, and I thought she might have been able to just pip the other Porsche, but no, unfortunately not. But still, Big Dan's a big score, and Jim. So Mrs. Guesty driving like a demon, and Homesick Alien out there leads the way. Was it ever in doubt? This championship must be true. But now, and Matt Psycho, I think, possibly could win the non-Ferrari part of the championship. As Skyjacker there in fourth in the Honda. He was ahead of Matt Psycho, so Matt Psycho pulled all the moves today on everyone except for a Ferrari. Bazza back up into fifth. I imagine he wanted more. He was sitting in third for a little while there, but Homesick strategy just knocked him down a position, and Matt Psycho changing his strategy has knocked him down one. So Sharon, though, does he have it in the Porsche to go forth and take it off the Nissan? The Nissan not as happy on the hard tyres, but we've got a yellow flag. Skyjacker has made a mess of the final corner, and I bet he was going for some epic move against Matt Psycho at the time. Shall we look? We ain't got all day, but, you know, who's in any rush? Where are we going? So here he comes on an epic move. He just asked a little more than the Honda was willing to give, and he's gone to inspect the barrier on the inside of the pit lane. And Bazza, he's got a mile, he's a chasm between him, so Skyjacker gets away with that one, or does he? Homesick Alien leading the way. We've got, what, 3.5 minutes to go. And Homesick just driving by the numbers at the moment. Just maintain, look at those 150s all the way through this race, just maintaining that perfect delta on his lap times. Talleyrand in the 150s now on the hard tyre. Matt Psycho smashing the 48s, 49s, but look at that tyre. Look at it. I said it wouldn't get to the end. He's done amazing to get it this far, but could he get it any further? Skyjacker, though, made it easier for him, making a mistake. If he stayed with him, pushing him, Matt Psycho would have had to put more pressure on that tyre, but Skyjacker wants to have a look at that barrier, so that's made it a little easier for Matt Psycho to pull a podium out of this one. The Baz in fifth, but Sharon is ever getting closer. Sharon wants the race. Sharon wants that fifth place away from the Baz. Remember, Bazza started on the back row. By early doors in this race, he was up to fourth or third, and maintained that until his pit stop. And he's had to fight his way through again, and these two are giving us a grand finale here at Catalunya. Mrs. Guesty seems safe so far. Big Dan's a little too far behind to make a mistake, to get anything, but any mistakes made by either driver can be extremely costly. Big Jim has gone in and put the hard tyres on. Must have had a brain fade moment when it came to strategies, or got a little excited with what button he pressed. Mrs. Guesty, 7th spot, behind the other Porsche, who is giving Bazza great jip at the moment. Homesick Alien, safe in the lead, even slowing down a little. It's even easing off a little. Doesn't want to finish too quick. And that's what she said. Talleyrand in second spot. Matt Psycho third. No pressure from the Skyjacker now, so he doesn't have to worry about putting pressure on that tyre as much. Skyjacker, ooh, fuel flashing. 1 minute to go. Well, no one else is fuel flashing Skyjacker, but it's and Shuren's fuel's going. Baz is all right. Has he just lost a position to Shuren? Shuren was chasing him, wasn't he? Bleeding neck. That must have just happened. We must have just pulled away before it had happened. So Shuren has been slowly catching the Baz all the way through it. These last few laps. And now, oh, what did Baz make a mistake? He went wide. Baz went wide. No grip on those hard tyres. And Shuren says, thank you very much, good sir. I will take that 5th place. Mrs. Guesty could have done with them battling a little more. I reckon she was catching with them. Big Dan chasing down, but the hard tyres. Ooh, fuel as well on Big Dan. And that Viper, when it flashes, that usually means it's empty. You can good as say. So Homesick Alien, no worries with fuel. And he's going to get across the line. I'm going to stick my neck out and say he's going to get across the line to do another lap. I'm not sure about the guys behind him. The ice cream van's outside, ringing away. I imagine 1,000 kids come running down the stairs any minute now.
Can I have ice cream? Can I have an overpriced ice cream? Can I have an overpriced ice cream, please?
And Homesick does cross the line before the timer runs out. His fuel is flashing. And here comes Talleyrand in second place. And the timer still hasn't ticked over for that 30 minutes yet. So Talleyrand joins Homesick Alien on a parade lap. Oh, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He got across the line. And it's Matt Psycho to finish first in third. Big whoops to Matt Psycho. That's a great drive, man. Good podium. Take a boo, my son. Skyjacker brings it home in 4th place. With Shuren in 5th, ahead of the Baz. Only just, though. Had to fight for that one. And Bazza comes home in 6th. And Mrs. Guesty, wind it up, girl. Bringing it on home for 7th spot. Great drive. Amazing drive on those soft tyres, taking them very late into the race. And gets herself 7th place for worse. Big Dan in 8th. The Viper does not like hard tyres. And Jim, is it the onset of Alzheimer's? Is it just a little bit of the Michael J. Fox twitch? I don't know what made him choose medium tyres. But Jimbo bringing home in last. And this one was a total. It was the squidgy stuff behind the wheels issue rather than any car issues. So Jim gets 9th. Every point counts. Homesick Alien brings it around in that final corner for another dominating Ferrari 1-2. Amazing stuff. And that's taking the win, with Talleyrand bringing it on home in 2nd. 2 different strategies and similar results. Great drive, guys. Great drive. Talleyrand in 2nd. Oh shit, I didn't pause it. Don't matter. So race 1 done, dusted. Homesick Alien takes first blood. Talleyrand in 2nd. What can stop these Ferrari? Well, they weren't that good around the Nürburgring, if you remember rightly. They were a little washed up. The Lamborghini was by and far better. Matt Psycho gets a podium in the McLaren. It's like the bridesmaid of the GT4 series. Skyjacker in 4th. Another good outing in the Honda. I don't think he would have got that 3rd from Matt. I think Matt had that one. Shuren and Bazas battling it out there for 5th and 6th. It was mighty. It was great. And in the end, the little Cayman pocket rocket grabbed it off of the mighty Nissan, who finished in 6th. Mrs. Guesty, a mighty drive, went very late on the soft tyres and pretty much gained herself a good couple of positions out of that one. Great drive from Mrs. Guesty. Big Dan in 8th in the Dodge. What can you say? It's the Dodge. And Jimbo, we already covered his issues, coming home in 9th. Brilliant drive from everyone. Shall we get on with the second and see what goes on? What go on in race 2? Let us go and have a look. Where's it going to put me? Not far away. I want to be there, though. And I want to find Future Race 2. Now, I'm going to click View. And it's going to load up. When it goes onto the loading screen, it'll tell you the results. If you don't want to know the results, if you're that kind of person, don't like spoilers, don't look. I'll tell you when you can look. I try not to look. I just look down in the bottom left corner for the replay and try not to look at the results. I don't want to know. So it's a reverse grid rolling start. I did wonder. I wasn't sure. So Jim's in a great position for race 2 then, isn't he? So Jim leads them away in the Aston Martin. Big Dan in the Dodge. Don't forget, they've got to use a mandatory hard tyre. Jim's opted to start with the soft. And Big Dan is going hard all the way. Mrs. Guesty's on the softs again with Sharon on the hard tyre. And then we've got Bazza on the hard, trying to get past Sharon. With Mrs. Guesty in 3rd, and Sharon's gone wide. Has he gone wide enough for Baz to get her moved on? Not quite. Baz is going for it around the outside, but he just doesn't have the grip levels out there to fight with that little Porsche. And Skyjacker's doing a sneaky assassin kind of sniper roll up the inside of Bazza, and that's stealth racing for you. Skyjacker just getting the job done up the inside of Bazza, whilst Bazza was having a look at the outside. And look at this for stealth racing. Talleyrand's at it now, and poor old Bazza being swamped by the Hondas and the Ferraris. Matt Psycho will be thinking, hey, I know something funny I can do. Let's do another one. My word. Oh, poor Baz. Everyone's pulling his pants down on his first lap. Why? He's on the same tyres. A little wide though. He is a little wide, Bazza. Jimbo still leads the race from Mrs. Guesty. Who's dropped? Big Dan? It was Big Dan. Big Dan slipped and slithered down the order. Mrs. Guesty up into 2nd. Sharon in 3rd. Skyjacker, he's on the soft tyres. He'll be wanting to have a fight with that Porsche in front of him right now. It's the battle of the greenies, with Big Dan now in 5th, and then we've got the Porsches and the McLarens and the Ferraris duking it out. And Matt Psycho remembers being in the middle of cars. You know how that works out, Matt. You don't want to be in the middle. And Matt there deciding to put himself in a Ferrari sandwich. But the Ferrari's mighty down the straight. Look at him go. And it's Homesick ahead. Oh no, Talleyrand is all about the braking. And it's Talleyrand ahead of Homesick Alien, and Matt Psycho loses out completely against the Ferraris as they fight their way through. They're on the hard tyres, these guys all down here.
Next 2.5 is open to sign up face glow.
And Big Dan, oh, exclusive here for the stream. Exclusive. The next 2.5 hour race is open for sign up. Get your names in Discord for 2.5 hours around Brazil. They speak Spanish in Brazil, I think, or Portuguese, but it's all the same. Because I'm English, so it's all the same. Jim then in, well, I think the multi-class is, let me think. I'm not going to look at Discord because it's more fun guessing. I think it's going to be the DTM Audi is the Class 1 car, and the Class 2 car is just some random GT4 cars, I think. So Jim 66 leads, Mrs. Guesty in 2nd, Skyjacker now up into 3rd. He's got himself by the Sharon, and he's on a pull for 2 Porsches. He wants 2 Porsches under his belt in this race, but Mrs. Guesty, she's racy today. Sharon then in 4th. He's playing the long game, remember. He's got on those hard tyres. He gained a good couple of positions. He was right at the back. I don't know if he started on the softs and then went to hards after lap 1, but he stayed his ground Fuel was tight, but he got a couple of positions back. Big Dan still in that 5th. Talleyrand and Homesick catching him rather swiftly, with Matt Psycho in tow in 8th, and the Baz keeping the back row warm in 9th. Jimbo then, what can he do? All right, I'll look at Discord. I bet there's more information that sounds more interesting than me just guessing. Sign up, sign up, sign up. Where are you? Events, sign up. Oh no, it says template. Event, sign ups. Interlagos, 2.5 hours. Here we go. Group 2 and 4, 1 race, endurance, Interlagos. VRC presents Interlagos, 2.5 hours. The start date is the 4th of the 8th, 2023. And the race is the 11th of, what's that, August then? 23. Welcome to the latest instalment of the VRC endurance races, with 2 classes vying for positions over 150 minutes. Have you got what it takes? Yeah, the Group 2 car is the Audi RS 5 DTM, and the Group 4 cars, the choices are the Ferrari 458, Honda NSX, McLaren 650S, Alfa Romeo 4C, Porsche Cayman, Renault Megane Trophy. Oh, well, judging by the GT4 series, that Ferrari is a must, isn't it, for anyone? And Matt Syker saying, woohoo, not Nords though. We've done Nords though, haven't we? Sure, we've done it. Jimbo leads from Mrs. Guesty, but her Skyjack again ever closer, ever closer. And he's looking around the outside, under braking. Mrs. Guesty slamming it on the apex there, but it's just not enough there for Skyjacker, and he brings it through. And it's the Honda in 2nd place now, chasing down Jim, who has built himself up a lovely lead at the moment. So Skyjacker chasing it, with Mrs. Guesty in 3rd. Shiren, though, Shiren's in good stead. He's on that hard tyre, may not have to pit in this race if he chooses not to, and he can get the fuel to last. And we'll see. Talleyrand still ahead of Homesick Alien, whilst they bring a Matt Psycho. Big Dan slipped down further, and Big Dan, Dodge Viper, hard tyres, not a great combo. Although I think he's having fun, and that's the main thing. It's not about the winning, it's about how much fun you can extract out of a race for yourself. Oh yeah, the hot beverage is gone. It is over. It's over, Charlie. So Jim 66 leads this race. Skyjacker in 2nd, Mrs. Guesty in 3rd, Shiren in 4th. Shiren's the one sitting pretty though. He's already on the mandatory tyre, the hard compound. Look at that final corner. It's glorious, man. Absolutely glorious. I'm getting on board with Homesick. Look. Oh, it's fantastic. Everyone's already gone through it. It's absolutely glorious. That's how it should be. Whee, nice little slide for Dan at the end of the corner there as he brings through that power. Jim leads the way, but he will have to stop for a set of hard tyres during some race. So much better now that the chicane's not there, isn't it? Yes, because that chicane just ruins all fun and speed. Something special about balancing the power and grip through those final 2 corners at Spain. You had to carry as much speed through that final corner as you possibly could to take onto that long straight, and the chicane kind of just ruined it because it killed all the speed. So all you ended up doing through the very final corner is just accelerating because you were already starting slow. But if you got that top part of that corner right, and then you could carry some amazing speed into that final corner. But it was tricky. It was very tricky. But the chicane, you're down to 2nd or 3rd gear if you're really clever. But and you're just accelerating through the final corner. Look, he's coming to it now. He's just coming to it. So we're coming up over here. then you'd have to really heavily brake to go where that wall is. But now, look at him, off gear, carrying that speed through. 110, coming up to that final corner, he's off, he's gliding it through, no brakes, no accelerator, and it's skill, it's skills, mad skills going through that final corner. That's what it should be. It was just, it was ruined by the chicane. You're just accelerating. A 148.7 for Skyjacker. He's taken the fastest lap of the race so far as he chases down Jimbo 66. It's good stuff. Mrs. Guesty sitting in third ahead of Shiren. Shiren a 51.4 last time around. Mrs. Guesty a 50.6, keeping Shiren at bay. But watch out. Where's that Jaws music? Dun-dun, dun-dun. For those guys at the front, there is two hard-clad Ferraris, Amigos. Talleyrand goes a little wide there, giving Homesick Alien half a whiff of the inside. And my God, the Ferraris can race each other. There they go. Now, I tell a fib because we saw the Ferraris really going at it a couple of rounds ago. I think Monza? I'm not sure. But Homesick Alien then comes through. Talleyrand making a very small mistake. And that's all it takes. And Homesick now unleashed to try and chase down Shiren, who could be the biggest threat for the win today, because Shiren doesn't have to pit. The top three will have to pit off the soft tyres. Matt Psycho in 7th. Seeing a bit of commotion with the Ferraris just ahead, but nothing to send them back to him. Bazza maintaining pace with the McLaren, yeah. McLaren dropping into the 52s the last couple of laps. And the Nissan starting to pick up the pace. Big Dan having a woeful time out there, but I'm sure still loving it. With a little slide as his token and his choice to do so. Whoa, he was just inches away, not even inches, centimetres away from the sand trap. He drives on the edge, does our Big Dan. Drives on the edge. Loving it. So Jimbo, man on a mission, but Skyjacker's taken his fastest lap. And there's Skyjacker. It's not that far, really. Come on, cameraman. Jesus, wet. Are all the cameramen around Spain on something? So Mrs. Guesty in 3rd place. So Shiren in 4th. Homesick Alien is catching up, Shiren, you know. Homesick Alien is on the move. A 150.2. We're 12 minutes into a 30-minute race here. The second race around Catalunya. And then it's got to be set for the moves. Jimbo as the wrap again. This happened to me before. Apologise. My peeps. We'll try our best. I don't know. Jim's leading. We'll stick to it. I don't know what to do. Jim's leading by... Oh, no. No, it's not good, is it? What am I going to do? There's nothing I can do. We're like 14 minutes away from the end of a race. Let's try and pull my iPad off to try and stop Wi-Fi itch. But I don't know. I'm sorry. It's not good, is it? Oh, hang on. Maybe my Wi-Fi is... No, it's stopped again. Oh my God. Right, well, Saturdays was a brave day to do this on. We'll just battle on through. If it's awful, I do sorry. Jim is first, Skyjacker is in second, Guesty is in third. Give me 1 second, just 1 second. I might be able to fix something. high. I've asked them to minimise internet use if they can. So I don't know if that's going to help with the stream. Any? We'll see. Great. So, I've got it on my phone on 4G. It's looking okay at the moment. So Jim is still leading this race, but his tyres are getting very, very salty. They don't want to play anymore. Oh, right, apparently it was my kid. I don't know. He turned his computer on and stream finger blasted. It looked like Tech said. But finger blasting was a totally different thing when I was a kid. So what I think he means by it. So Jim is in first. Skyjacker is in second. Mrs. Guesty in third. Remember how long she went before... Hello. How long she went before she pitted. Last time. And Shiren just behind her with Homesick Alien catching up. Shiren. And it's going to be tight at the top there. Oh, Steam finger blasted the router because it hasn't turned on. It's blaming Steam. Good PC, that's the race. So Jim, so Jim's leading the race with Skyjacker in second. Guesty is in third. Shiren now under pressure from the Alien, Homesick Alien, starting to make the moves, and that is pretty much for the lead of this race after the guys ahead have made their pit stops, unless Jim has been able to scamper away enough to gain a lead on these two. But no one managed it in the first race. I can't see it happening in the second race. But Homesick Alien did not get the job done. Now we got yellow flags up ahead. It's Skyjacker. Skyjacker is off of the track. My dearie Lord, what is happening out there? The YouTube's gone down. I don't think I'm streaming. Everything's gone absolutely to pieces, and Skyjacker's thrown it off the road. What an absolute nightmare. I can't even get my phone to work now. It's not loading anything. What a nightmare. Oh, and there goes Skyjacker. And yeah, it's looking dodgy, but we're still doing. We've only got 2 people watching. They must have given up. Oh well. So then Skyjacker hasn't lost the position, but he's still struggling with dirt on his tyres and a bit of damage. Mrs. Guesty is bringing it to the rear end of Skyjacker. Homesick Alien somewhere along the way has got himself by Shiren. It has happened. We've got 12 more minutes of this race. Jim has put it into the pits with Skyjacker bringing it around. Guesty in third. And just that Skyjacker going in as well. He's decided that's the time. Mrs. Guesty continues on, as does Homesick Alien and Shiren. But Homesick Alien and Shiren both on the hard tyres. Mrs. Guesty leads the race. And there you go, Mrs. Guesty, top of the pile, better than the boys. That's for years and years of male oppression right there. You give it to them, girl. You send that message to those homies. So Mrs. Guesty leads the way from Homesick Alien in second, Shiren in third, Matt Psycho in fourth, Jim in fifth. Then we got the Baz in sixth. Skyjacker now re-exiting the pit lane as Big Dan is just behind. And Talleyrand, wowzers, what happened to you, man? He pitted for softs and I missed it. And he's right to the back. Now, can he do a Matt Psycho? Matt Psycho gave himself a lot more time to do it. But with 10.5 minutes to go in this race, Talleyrand has donned a set of softs. And he aims to do mischief with those. Mrs. Guesty still there ahead of Homesick Alien. And Homesick Alien will be ashamed of himself if he tries to overtake that lovely lady. And Shiren in third. That would be a beautiful top three if the race was to end now, but we know Mrs. Guesty does definitely have to make a pit stop. With Matt Psycho on the hards, Jimbo's gone back on that. That's not bad for Jim, is it? It's not bad. He's gone to the hard tyre, but unfortunately the three ahead of him I don't think will be pitting again this race. But he may gain a position from Mrs. Guesty as Homesick Alien in the tow, coming down the start straight line. He's trying to pick what side he's going. Mrs. Guesty goes defensive on the inside. What the bleeding hell did happen there? I went to flick forward, but Homesick obviously just gone ahead of Mrs. Guesty, so it put me on Skyjacker at the back. Bloody stupid game. This is why I like the keyboard, where you can press buttons and numbers. But Homesick Alien then leads Mrs. Guesty in second spot. Mrs. Guesty yet to make a pit stop. Shiren's closing in. And oh, is she coming back at the Alien? I thought the Homesick Alien had made a mistake there. He may have done. And Mrs. Guesty having a thought of possibly going and attacking the Ferrari ahead. And you guys thought they were untouchable. Mrs. Guesty, she wants to make this pit stop perfect. Last time I think she took it one lap too long and had a small off, costing her 3 or 4 seconds. So the pit stops it has to be perfection here. Great lap times from Mrs. Guesty so far. This would be the time, I think. This would be the time to bring it in. Oh, up the inside of the Alien, there was a little bit of contact and Mrs. Guesty lifted off. Hopefully not enough to let Shiren through. No, just enough. And that, wowzers. But Homesick Alien did look like he was struggling at the exit of that corner, waiting to get his accelerator on. And Mrs. Guesty, just what can you do but swoops in there and thought, I see a gap. But unfortunately, just not enough there. Shiren closing up on the other Porsche. They're swinging around left and right. And there we go. Beautiful sight. Two Porsches side by side going down the start finish straight here at Catalonia for round 8 of the VRC GT4 Championship. And Homesick Alien leads from Shiren. And that's Mrs. Guesty down and into third place. Staying hot on the tail of Shiren. Matt Psycho in 4th place ahead of Jim. Like I said, Jim's got the work to do. Guesty saying great racing from Mrs. Guesty. Isn't it just? Man alive, you must have been buzzing of the evening. Beaming with pride over the old ball and chain. Homesick Alien then leads this with the racing hard tyres on. Shiren just ahead of Mrs. Guesty, who is on form this evening. Matt Psycho in 4th place, Jim in 5th, the Baz in 6th, Talleyrand making that pit stop off of the hard tyres. He's got the fastest lap of the race. Have we seen 47s? I don't believe we have. I think the best lap was a 48, very early 48 in the race 1. I may be wrong. I'm sure Stat Pat or Pat the Stat will check that on me. But definitely a very fast Ferrari there, trying to catch up the Baz. And they're all a bit spaced out here, except for Skyjacker and Big Dan having themselves a little race at the back here. Big Dan trying to go through without a pit stop. Looks like he's killing his tyres. And Skyjacker, plenty of meat on that tyre to go yet. Homesick Alien then leads. And Mayumi in the chat saying, hello, Thingy. Why, hello, my American friend. I said earlier that Plan B means something different in England than it does in America. Shiren. I didn't know if you missed that, because you get that reference, I guess. Matt Psycho is up to a podium. Mrs. Guesty has to make that pit stop. Let's hope she comes out in a reasonable place after all that work. Talleyrand has been doing some pacey work, though, and it's looking like Skyjacker, possibly she's getting let out. Can she get ahead of the Honda? Skyjacker coming down the start-finish straight as Guesty, Mrs. Guesty, comes back onto the track. But what a fight on her hands she's got now for the next 5 minutes of this race. She's got a very fast Honda, and well, the Dodge Viper's ailing on its tyres, so I don't know if the Dodge is too much of a weapon for Mrs. Guesty at the moment, but that Honda is looking extremely lively. Remember, the Honda had one of the fastest laps in the first race. Talleyrand just ahead, and I think he was saved by them super lap times he's been putting in. The Baz might be in trouble though. His hard tyres are ailed, they are unwell, they do not want to go any further. The Parrot is dead, sir. Jimbo, fourth, and he can see the Psycho. He can see with his eyes the Psycho is ahead of him. But with 4 minutes to go of this race, he needs Matt Psycho to do something desperate, like throw it off the road, and that is not going to happen, is it? Let's face reality. Although the McLaren, like he said, has a curbophobia, so press the button, make it work. Homesick Alien leads from Charen, and Matt Psycho might make a mistake. He could be pushing hard to try and get that second place from Charen. Charen not out of reach there, and Charen very close to the Alien. Cameraman is on a break again. Nice one. So Jim there, fourth. Talleyrand, oh God. Cameraman, get off of the wacky backy, man. What is wrong with you? He's there in fifth. Can I do it again? No, he's quicker now. He woke up. Sixth for the Baz. And there is Guesty. Mrs. Guesty ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker doing a 50.9 last time around. We can't tell Mrs. Guesty's lap times yet because it was an out lap. Big Dan's tyres are woeful at best. Homesick Alien. It's another one, isn't it? Another, well, he had to overtake some people in this one, but it's another easy one for the Alien. This championship is all but sealed, signed and delivered. We've got 2 more rounds left after this one. Spa-Francorchamps being one of them. Can't remember the last one, but I've still got, they've done Spa, that's why I've got to do that. That's why we're trying to catch up on streams. Do you know what? I've not been well. That's why I've not done streams, and I honestly thought I was going to be coughing and barking all the way through this one. But how professional am I? It hasn't even happened. It's great. As soon as the mic goes off, I'm going to cough and bark all over the place. But yes, YouTube doesn't look too hot. It's not high fidelity, I'm afraid. I don't know what's going on. It's Saturday, and everyone wants to use the internet. Everyone wants to go on the dark web and buy poppers. So Homesick Alien leads from Charen in second. Matt Psycho in third spot. Doing a stand-up job. Jimbo, fourth. I don't know if he's going to be displeased or pleased. Sometimes Jim surprises me. Sometimes I think he's had an amazing race. He's come from last place. He's got himself all the way up to like fourth or fifth. And then in Discord he's like, oh, that was rubbish. And I just think, oh my God, I would be so pleased with that drive. And this one I'd be pleased with. I mean, yes, he was leading, but that was a reverse grid. And we have seen that the starting on hard tyres, staying on hard tyres seems to be the strategy, the winning strategy today. So when he started on softs, he knew he was going to have to make a pit stop. Maybe he was still hoping for a podium out of it somehow. But these guys are going to have to turn the wick down. We're in the last minute though, so they're not going to have to turn the wick down too much on their fuels, because their fuel's looking, oh God, the dad's looking at the rabbit hutch. He's going to be saying, there's something wrong with your rabbit. Homesick Alien then leads this race. Where's the trailer finish line? Is he going to get past the finish line? It's another lap for the Alien. Oh, of course, I'm looking at the wrong times. He's got ages. Shiren as well, crossing the line for another lap. Matt Psycho gets to have another lap out of this one as well. Jimbo, is he in there? No, I think the time has just run out for Jim. He's the first of the finishers in 4th place. Congratulations, Jim. Great drive. Talleyrand gets himself 5th place with the Baz. Oh no, Skyjacker got Guesty in the end. Oh, I missed it. Apologetic for it. So the Baz grabs himself 6th spot with Skyjacker 7th. Mrs. Guesty grabbing herself a fine 8th ahead of Big Dan. Brings it around that final corner in that Dodge. The tyres did survive just about. Excuse me. Thank you. Big Dan in 6th. So it's Homesick, Shiren and Matt Psycho vying for the top 3. Who will win? Who will come 2nd? Who will come 3rd? It's been pretty obvious from the start of the race. Well, Shiren could have finished ahead of the Alien, I imagine, but we know that Ferrari's pace overall is... it might be mostly down to the pilot. It's unfair to say it's all to do with Ferrari, because we've got Ferraris in the GTMC, and they are driven by... Who are they being driven by? I think it's Shiren and Jokers, possibly. And they're not absolutely dominating the GT4 part of the GTMC. I mean, it's different settings, so, let's give Homesick Alien some credit there. It might not all be the Ferrari, but the Ferrari is blooming fast. And there goes Homesick Alien, 50-50. Great driver, great car, great win. Shiren comes home in 2nd place. Great drive from the Porsche. And Matt Psycho rounds out your podium. Oh boy! That is some reaction there. Look at that. Boom. Couldn't get it closer to the line. Could you? There you go. You did get a bit of snot after all. So, Homesick Alien, another super win in the John Player Special Ferrari. And he is unstoppable in this championship. Great drive from the Alien. Shiren, a cracking 2nd spot there. The win could have been on, but he just couldn't keep Homesick Alien behind him and had to settle for 2nd place. And Matt Psycho just about to cross the line to take a podium. Take a boo, my son. Cracking drive, Matt. Jimbo grabbing himself 4th. Not sure how he feel about that. I'd be chuffed. He probably wouldn't be. Jimbo, great 4th spot. Good points. And he beat a Ferrari, which is great, as everyone is sort of whispering behind closed doors that the Ferrari's overpowered. I don't think it is. I don't think it really is overpowered. I just think that it's got 2 bloody fast drivers in them, which makes them overpowered. It's probably a good car, but in their hands, it's a blinding car. So Talleyrand in 5th. The Baz coming home 6th in the Nissan, with Skyjacker 7th in the Honda. 8th for Mrs. Guesty. Great drive again. Great pair there, Mrs. Guesty. You had on display a great pair of racers. So Mrs. Guesty 8th with Big Dan and the Dodge Viper. See, that one I'll blame the car, because Big Dan can drive. So, yeah, the Dodge, an absolute dog. I mean, you'd think Dodge Viper, like the company Dodge, would sue Gran Turismo. Why make... What did Dodge Viper do to Kaz for him to always make it the worst car? It cannot be the worst car. It's so sexy. It sounds so beautiful. How can it be the worst car all the time? That was round 8 of the GT4. This is all right, this bit, because everyone turns off as soon as the flag's out, so I can say whatever I want. Bum. Willy. Bum Willy. Bum. Absolutely fabulous. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Right then, I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Hugh Jorgan. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. You're welcome anytime. Keep an eye out. Don't forget, subscribe. And if you need, positively, definitely need to be notified when we're going to stream, then touch my bell end. Just go on. Just extend your finger and give that bell a little flick. Go on, you can do it. Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it? Right, because they're coming thick and fast, I'm behind. I've got a mono sprint round to do. I've got a GTMC got to do. I think it was at Monza. And another GT4 around Spa-Francorchamps. Touch my nipples. And so, yes, if you need to know when we're coming and when we're going, you got to touch our bell. And right then, thank you very much. Don't forget, Virtual Racers Club, we're all about world peace. So if you can spread a peace around the world, please do so. Thank you very much. Peace and love. Peace and love.